What if I told you that the most dangerous threat to seniors isn't just high blood pressure itself, but the silent mistakes made every single day in managing it? Over 60, your arteries are less flexible. Your heart works harder. One small error, taking the wrong drink, skipping one pill, eating the wrong snack, can quietly push blood pressure to deadly levels. Stroke, heart attack, kidney failure. It doesn't happen suddenly. It builds, mistake after mistake, until one night, it's too late. Here's the shocking truth. Many seniors who believe they're doing everything right are still making at least one of 5 critical blood pressure mistakes, and chances are, you're making them too. But here's the good news. When you know these mistakes, you can fix them instantly. You can protect your heart, brain, and life starting tonight. Stay with me until the end. The final mistake is the most surprising, because even doctors rarely mention it. Quick question before we dive in. Which blood pressure tip have you heard the most conflicting advice about? Diet, exercise, or medication? Drop your answer in the comments below. High blood pressure, often called the silent killer, affects more than half of all adults over 60. Yet many don't realize how dangerous it becomes when combined with small, everyday mistakes. Think about it. You feel fine. No pain, no obvious symptoms. But inside, your arteries may be stiffening, your heart may be straining, and your brain may be starved of oxygen-rich blood. This silent process can go unnoticed for years, until the damage is permanent. Doctors often prescribe medication, and yes, it helps. But pills alone are never enough if you're unknowingly sabotaging your own health. Every skipped dose, every salty meal, every harmless lifestyle habit can raise your blood pressure by just a few points. But those points matter. They can decide whether you stay healthy or end up in the ER. The real problem is this. Most seniors believe they're managing blood pressure correctly. They check their numbers, take their pills, maybe even walk daily. But hidden mistakes still creep in. And that's why strokes and heart attacks continue to hit millions over 60. Today we'll expose the 5 most common mistakes and show you how to avoid them before it's too late. Every powerful story begins with a turning point. For many seniors, that turning point happens not in a hospital, but in a quiet, everyday moment. Take George, age 67. He believed he was careful. He took his blood pressure pill every morning, limited fried foods, and even checked his numbers twice a week. Yet one evening, while watching TV, he suddenly felt dizzy. Within hours, he was in the hospital recovering from a minor stroke. The doctors told him, "Your mistake wasn't ignoring treatment. Your mistake was the small things you never thought mattered." George's story is not unusual. It reveals the truth. High blood pressure control isn't about one big decision. It's about countless small decisions stacked together, some helping, some harming. Researchers have shown that even a 5-point rise in systolic blood pressure increases stroke risk significantly. That 5 points might come from an extra teaspoon of salt, a night of poor sleep, or drinking alcohol at the wrong time. The danger lies in how invisible it feels. Here's what we'll uncover today. The 5 hidden mistakes nearly every senior makes. We'll look at their physical toll, their mental and emotional cost, and the long-term risks that silently build. By the end, you'll know how to protect yourself, your independence, and your future. And remember, knowledge only matters if it's shared. If you know someone over 60, hit the share button now. This could save their life. High blood pressure isn't just a number on a monitor. It's a force silently reshaping the body, pressuring organs day and night. Seniors often think, if I feel normal, I must be safe. But that's the dangerous illusion. Hypertension rarely causes pain, yet its physical effects are relentless. Let's start with the heart. Every beat pushes blood against resistant arteries. Over time, that resistance makes the heart muscle thicken like an overworked engine. At first, you may notice nothing, but slowly, the heart struggles to pump efficiently. This leads to shortness of breath, swelling in the legs, and eventually heart failure. For people over 60, heart failure linked to high blood pressure is one of the most common reasons for emergency hospitalization. Next, The brain. Blood vessels in the brain are extremely delicate. When pressure is too high, these vessels weaken or clog more easily. Tiny blockages may not cause immediate collapse, but they silently steal mental sharpness. Seniors often brush off forgetfulness or confusion as just aging, but in many cases, it's early brain damage from uncontrolled blood pressure. And when one vessel finally bursts or clots, the result can be a devastating stroke. Now the kidneys. Think of them as two natural filters, cleaning waste and balancing fluids in the body. But constant high pressure is like turning a faucet on full blast, day after day. The delicate kidney filters tear, scar tissue forms, and function declines. Many seniors don't realize their kidneys are failing until late stages, when dialysis or transplant becomes the only option. Hypertension is actually the second leading cause of kidney failure in older adults. Your eyes are not safe either. High blood pressure can damage the retina, the thin layer at the back of the eye that processes vision. This condition, called hypertensive retinopathy, may cause blurred vision, eye pain, or in severe cases, permanent vision loss. Many seniors who blame old age for failing eyesight are really seeing the damage of hypertension. Finally, the arteries themselves. With each year of high pressure, artery walls grow stiffer and more fragile. Tiny tears invite plaque to build up, narrowing the vessel. This process, known as atherosclerosis, makes heart attacks and circulation problems far more likely. Reduced blood flow to the legs may lead to cramps, pain when walking, or in advanced cases, ulcers that refuse to heal. These complications directly limit mobility and independence. So the physical effects are not abstract. They touch the heart that beats, the brain that remembers, the kidneys that filter, the eyes that see, and the vessels that carry life itself. High blood pressure slowly steals health piece by piece, until one day the damage cannot be undone. Quick question: have you ever experienced dizziness, swelling, or blurry vision linked to blood pressure? Share in the comments. Your story might help another senior recognize the warning signs. When we think of high blood pressure, we picture clogged arteries and strained hearts. But what often gets ignored is the silent toll it takes on the mind and emotions. For seniors, these effects can be just as destructive as the physical ones. Start with stress and anxiety. Imagine constantly worrying about numbers on a blood pressure monitor. Many seniors check their blood pressure several times a day. A small rise can trigger panic, even if it's temporary. This constant cycle of fear actually raises blood pressure further, creating a vicious loop. Sleep is another casualty. High blood pressure is closely linked to restless nights. Some seniors wake up multiple times, unable to relax. Others suffer from sleep apnea, where breathing stops briefly during sleep. Poor rest magnifies blood pressure problems, leaving the mind foggy and the body drained. Then comes mood. Studies show seniors with uncontrolled blood pressure are more likely to experience depression. Why? Because the brain is sensitive to reduced blood flow. Even mild vascular damage can disrupt the balance of mood-regulating chemicals. The result? Irritability, sadness, or a sense of hopelessness. For some, this becomes a downward spiral. Poor mood leads to less activity, poor diet choices, and neglect of medication, which in turn worsens blood pressure. Cognitive decline is another hidden impact. Seniors often chalk up memory slips to just getting older. But in reality, hypertension is one of the strongest predictors of dementia. Reduced blood flow to the brain damages connections between neurons, slowly stealing attention, recall, and decision-making skills. Families may notice a loved one withdrawing from conversations or forgetting important details, unaware that blood pressure could be a root cause. And then there's independence. Mental strain, plus physical fatigue, often reduces confidence. Seniors may avoid social events, skip travel, or stop driving because they fear a sudden dizzy spell. This isolation fuels loneliness, which again has been proven to worsen blood pressure and overall health. The emotional burden also extends to families. Children and caregivers often feel helpless, watching their loved one battle not just numbers, but fear, frustration, and confusion. This emotional strain ripples outward, affecting entire households. But here's the hopeful truth. Addressing blood pressure doesn't just protect the body, it can restore peace of mind. Simple changes like structured breathing exercises, guided relaxation, or joining a supportive community can lower stress hormones and reduce blood pressure naturally. Quick reminder, if you haven't yet, hit subscribe to Vital Health Tales. Each week we share science-backed ways to protect not only your health, but also your peace of mind. High blood pressure doesn't announce itself with sudden pain or warning bells. Instead, it slowly reshapes the body in ways most seniors don't notice, until the consequences are irreversible. One of the most dangerous risks is kidney damage. The kidneys act like filters, cleaning waste from the blood. But when blood pressure remains high, the tiny vessels inside them weaken and scar. Over years, this silent damage reduces kidney function. Seniors may not feel anything until swelling, fatigue, or dangerous fluid buildup appear. In many cases, dialysis becomes the only option, a reality that steals freedom and independence. Another long-term danger is stroke. High blood pressure is the leading cause of both ischemic strokes, caused by blocked blood flow, and hemorrhagic strokes, caused by burst vessels. What makes this so frightening is how sudden the impact can be. One moment, you're at the breakfast table. The next, you can't move an arm, speak clearly, or remember your own name. Recovery is possible but often incomplete, leaving lasting disability. The eyes are also vulnerable. Hypertension quietly damages the delicate blood vessels at the back of the eyes, a condition called hypertensive retinopathy. For seniors, this can mean blurred vision, dark spots, or even blindness. Imagine the heartbreak of losing the ability to read, drive, or see loved ones clearly, not from aging, but from years of unchecked pressure. There's also the silent link to diabetes. High blood pressure and insulin resistance often appear together, creating a dangerous cycle. As metabolism weakens, the risks of heart disease, kidney failure, and neuropathy multiply. Seniors may struggle with wounds that won't heal, nerve pain, or sudden drops in energy. And then comes the ultimate hidden risk: shortened lifespan. Large studies show seniors with uncontrolled hypertension are far more likely to face early death, not just from heart attack or stroke, but from the combined wear on every organ. What begins as a little high blood pressure often ends as a cascade of failures in the heart, brain, kidneys, and immune system. But perhaps the most underestimated risk is the loss of independence. The long-term effects: reduced memory, poor balance, weak muscles, failing eyesight, don't just threaten health. They threaten the ability to live life on your own terms. Needing constant supervision, relying on caregivers, or losing the ability to walk safely is a devastating reality for many who never realized their blood pressure played a role. Here's the wake-up call: every one of these risks is preventable. By understanding and addressing blood pressure mistakes early, seniors can protect not only their years of life, but the quality of those years. If this resonates with you, share this video with a friend or family member. It could help them avoid years of silent damage. Most seniors believe high blood pressure is all about salt, stress, and maybe a few extra pounds. Doctors warn about sodium. Articles talk about exercise. But here's the twist: the biggest mistakes that drive blood pressure up after 60 often have nothing to do with salt at the dinner table. Take medication timing. Many seniors take their pills in the morning because it's convenient. But research shows that for some blood pressure drugs, evening doses are more effective. Why? Because nighttime blood pressure patterns play a major role in heart attacks and strokes, which strike most often in the early morning hours. By mistiming medication, countless seniors lose the very protection their prescription could provide. Another overlooked mistake is hydration. Seniors often cut back on water to avoid bathroom trips. But mild dehydration thickens the blood, strains the heart, and raises blood pressure. It's not about drinking gallons, it's about steady hydration throughout the day. Ironically, avoiding fluids to protect the bladder can backfire and harm the heart. Then there's the hidden effect of over-the-counter drugs. Pain relievers like ibuprofen, decongestants for colds, even certain herbal supplements can spike blood pressure without warning. Many seniors assume these items are harmless because they don't require a prescription. But mixed with age, other medications, and fragile circulation, they can create a dangerous cocktail. Sleep is another twist. Poor rest doesn't just leave you groggy. It keeps cortisol levels high, stiffens arteries, and disrupts blood pressure regulation. Seniors who dismiss insomnia as just part of aging unknowingly invite hypertension to grow stronger each year. In fact, fragmented sleep may play a bigger role in rising blood pressure than diet for many older adults. And here's a surprising one: loneliness. Studies reveal that social isolation can increase blood pressure as much as obesity or smoking. The stress of disconnection raises sympathetic nervous system activity, pushing pressure higher day after day. For seniors, staying connected, through friends, family, or community, is not just about joy, it's about survival. The unexpected reveal is this: controlling blood pressure after 60 isn't only about cutting salt and exercising. It's about small, often overlooked daily choices. When you take medication, how much water you sip, what pills you grab at the pharmacy, how well you sleep, and even whether you share laughter with a friend. The good news? These mistakes are fixable, and fixing them can turn the tide, even for seniors who've battled hypertension for decades. Quick pause. If one of these surprising mistakes shocked you, drop it in the comments. Your insight may help someone else spot the habit that's harming them. Now let's move from revelation to action. How can you put this knowledge into practice and protect your heart, brain, and independence starting tonight? Now that the hidden mistakes are clear, let's turn knowledge into action. Because real protection comes not from fear, but from applying practical steps every day. Lesson 1. Rethink medication timing. Talk to your doctor about whether morning or evening is best for your blood pressure pills. Don't adjust on your own. Everyone's body responds differently. But knowing the importance of timing could mean the difference between steady protection and unexpected risk. Lesson 2. Hydrate smartly. Aim for steady fluid intake from morning until late afternoon. Water, herbal teas, and soups all count. Avoid gulping large amounts right before bed. Think of hydration like fuel. You need a steady flow, not a last-minute flood. Lesson 3. Watch hidden drug effects. Before reaching for ibuprofen, cold medicine, or even herbal remedies, ask a pharmacist or doctor if they raise blood pressure. A simple question can prevent a dangerous spike. Lesson 4. Prioritize sleep. Create a nightly wind-down routine. Dim lights, avoid screens, and keep your room cool. If you snore heavily or wake often, ask about sleep apnea testing. Treating sleep disorders doesn't just restore rest, it can also lower blood pressure naturally. Lesson 5. Stay connected. Loneliness is not just an emotional issue, it's a physical one. Regular calls, visits, or even community groups can lower stress and stabilize pressure. Connection is medicine for the heart and mind. Here's what you'll gain from these habits: steadier blood pressure, deeper rest, better memory, improved mood, and a stronger shield against heart disease and stroke. Each step is simple. None require expensive equipment or complicated routines. If these lessons resonate, consider sharing this video with a friend or family member. Sometimes the reminder comes at just the right time. Consistency is key. One skipped night of good sleep won't undo everything, and one glass of water won't solve it all. But repeated patterns, day after day, night after night, build the foundation for health. The lesson is simple. Blood pressure mistakes are not destiny. They're choices, and the right choices, practiced daily, can protect your life well into the years ahead. High blood pressure after 60 is not a sentence. It's a signal that your body needs care, consistency, and a few smart adjustments. We've uncovered the 5 common mistakes seniors make: mistimed medication, poor hydration, hidden drug interactions, restless sleep, and isolation. Each may seem small on its own, but together, they quietly raise blood pressure and increase the risk of stroke, heart disease, memory loss, and loss of independence. The good news is this: mistakes can be corrected. And when you fix them, the body responds. Blood pressure steadies. Energy returns, sleep deepens, mood lifts, confidence grows. Think of it this way. Your health story is still being written. Every choice, every glass of water, every bedtime routine, every conversation with a friend becomes a line in that story, and you hold the pen. If you're over 60, this isn't about living in fear. It's about living wisely. It's about protecting the years ahead, not just for yourself, but for the people who love you. Before you go, tell us in the comments, which of these 5 mistakes surprised you the most? And if you found value in this story, hit subscribe so you never miss another chapter from Vital Health Tales. Remember, the smallest changes often carry the greatest power. Tonight, take one step, just one, to protect your heart, your mind, and your future. Sleep well, live strong, and keep writing your story with health and hope.